Yeah, this is the oath chart of Mamata Banerjee. I have analyzed quite a few oath charts because I have understood that oath charts are a very good tool available for our Jyotish fraternity to assess the tenure of the particular government. I have observed few things in oath charts. For example, oath chart of H.D. Kumarappa, H.D. Kumaraswamy, then oath chart of Kamal Nath, oath chart of Yogi Ji. So this is and few others also. So I realized a few things on the oath chart, and that is why I was thinking of also trying to assess oath chart of Mamata Banerjee. Mamata Banerjee took oath on 5th of May 2021 at Kolkata at around 10:49. So the oath chart of Mamata Banerjee is Karka Lagna. Karka Lagna and Tula Navmansh. If you just see what is the Graha conditions in front of you, the 10th has exalted sun, 12th has 10th Lord is in 12th, Mars. The Lagna Lord Chandra is in 8th along with 9th Lord Guru, 6th and 9th Lord Guru. 7th and 8th Lord Shani is in 7th power, respecting the Lagna. And Rahu, Bush, Shukra are in 11th power. Ketu is in 5th power. This is the chart of Mamata Banerjee, Rashi chart, or we can say Lagna chart also. Navmansha, there is a Tula Lagna in Navmansha, and the Surya is debilitated, placed in the Lagna. So what this chart tells us, we will only touch upon important things and which is pertaining to the state politics and nothing more than that, because we are not discussing Jataka chart here. So we can see that here the Lagna Lord Moon is placed in 8th bhava. Obviously 8th bhava is not a good bhava. I have wrote some tweet on Twitter also today morning. I would just say that 8th bhava afflictions in the oath charts of heads of the government would result in, if the 8th chart is 8th bhava or 8th lord is badly afflicted with malefics, or otherwise it is loaded heavily, then there could be calamities and a lot of loss of lives can happen. And I have many oath charts to support. Modi ji's oath chart, Uddhav Thackeray's oath chart, Arvind Kejriwal's oath chart, Yogi ji's oath chart. So you see here the Lagna Lord is placed in the 8th bhava, and 9th Lord is also placed in the 8th bhava. If we go and check the Bhava Chalit, let us see if there is a difference. No, Bhava Chalit remains the same. So 8th bhava. 10th has a strong sun, exalted sun, which is again debilitated in Navmansha. So a little bit of loss of strength. But if you say sun, because of sun is exalted in this chart, and Lagna Lord is with 9th Lord, yeah, this chart has strength. This government has strength of numbers. You see here, if you go to the strength and you see this Mahayogda. How many grahas are becoming Mahayogda? Mahayogda means the graha which simultaneously strongly connected to Lagna, Ghati Lagna and Hora Lagna. All these three Lagnas, if any graha is connected to all those three Lagnas, we have to consider here Rashi Drashti and not the Graha Drashti. Then those grahas becomes Mahayogda, and they are highly fortified. And if you see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 grahas are Mahayogda. So you see that there is a strength in this chart. Lagna is in Pushya, Chandra is in Satvisha Nakshatra, Guru is in Dhanishta Nakshatra. Now, if you assess what will come to our mind, Chandra doesn't like 8th bhava. Like in my previous video, I said that Shukra doesn't like 6th bhava. Same way Chandra doesn't like 8th bhava. Chandra, that is how Chandrashtam phenomena has become popular. Chandra is also 8th bhava is also Maranakarak sthana of Chandra. So here Chandra is very important, being a Lagna lord. It is placed in 8th bhava, means it has a weakness. It has inherent weakness. This could be correlated to the fact that Mamata Banerjee had lost herself, her candidature against Shubhendu Adhikari, and even though she lost her seat, she became the chief minister. So this is a weakness. She doesn't have that commanding authority. So this could be shown by the moon being in 8th bhava. Because Lagna here, we are saying Lagna here means we are referring to the Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, who took the oath. There is one more important thing which I wanted to tell you here, is that moon is a very important graha in oath charts. Moon as well as sun, because I have seen moon afflicted and badly placed in 3 charts of the 3 oath charts where government fell before 10 years. I would tell you this. I would show you also these 3 oath charts so that you can understand what I am trying to say here. Okay, see this oath chart of Yedurappa where he, I think he took the CM oath and in 2-3 days he had to resign. So this is a classic case of Balarishta, where sun and moon, both the important planets are in. Okay. I realize that I am showing a Gujarati display. I am sorry for that. Let me change this to English, maybe then people would be able to understand. Yeah. So you see that moon and sun both are in let me also change here. Sorry. So let me come back here. So Yedurappa's government fell quickly in 2-3 days. You see moon and sun both are in 12th bhava. Though moon is exalted, forget about which bhava lord he is. Moon and sun by default, just by being moon and sun, they are political grahas. They are extremely important. So the weakness you see here, moon's weakness being in 12th bhava. Not only that, the highly functional malefic Mars is exalted in 8th bhava. So let us not go into that details at the moment. I just want to show the moon's weakness here. And if you see here, there is a distance from Mrityu Bhaga. Moon is right within the ambit of Trimshamsha degree. So this is highly afflicted, being in Mrityu Bhaga and within Trimshamsha degree and placed in 12th bhava. So severe Balarist, and this chart suggests that this government will not survive, whatever may be the other good things in the chart. Let me show you one more chart Fourth chart of Kumarappa, H.T. Kumaraswamy. Yeah, you see this. Okay, again I will change the preference. In this chart also, okay, don't forget to put Bhav Chalit and see this. This is moon is though in 11th Rashi, it is actually transferring to moving to the 12th bhava. Here the moon is again going to the 12th bhava. There are other things like sun is in the 8th bhava. So sun, moon both are again in the Dusthana. 8th and 12th, 6th, 8th, 12th are Dusthana. Everybody knows who has the basic knowledge of Jyotish Shastra. So moon and sun both are in bad bhava. Moon being in 12th and sun being in 8th. And if you see also this, never forget to see this Mrityu Bhaga distance. This is very important. This is quite baffling sometimes. You see here, sun is in the Mrityu Bhaga and within 360 degree, and Venus is also Mrityu Bhaga. Now, what is Venus? Venus is a very important graha, being a Lagna Lord here. So though Lagna Lord is in ninth bhava, it is not helping at all, because itself placed in the Maranakarak Sthana and within the Trimshimsha degree. So the affliction is very high. Similarly, moon is also in 12th bhava and sun is also in 8th bhava with again the Mrityu Bhagat affliction. I will also show you this the third chart of Kamalnath. Yeah. This is Kamalnath Soch chart. If you see Kamalnath Soch chart, okay, you can just see Bhav Chalit. No, it is not shifting. So yes, moon is in 12th bhava. You see here, moon is in 12th bhava. The Bhagyasthan Lord Guru is in 8th bhava. So you see here that what is the star? What is the constant thing, common thing in all these three charts is that moon and sun are afflicted. Especially moon is afflicted and placed in the 12th bhav. So this is what I wanted to show you how important moon is. Now let us come back to the chart of Mamata Banerjee. Fourth chart of Mamata Banerjee. So here the moon is doubly important, because not only it is important in a political chart, it is also the Lagna Lord here. So as a Lagna Lord, moon is going to the 8th bhava, which is the Maranakarak Sthana of this. And the 9th Lord, Bhagyasthana Guru, is also in the 8th bhava, which is 12th of Bhagyasthana. So moon and Guru, so Lagna Lord and Bhagya Lord both are in Dusthana. Now 12th Lord, 10th Lord, another important Lord is the 10th Lord, Mars. Mars is also placed in the 12th bhava, in a Shatru Rashi. So you see here, the most important, one of the most important grahas is Lagna Lord, 9th Lord and 10th Lord. All the three lords are in Dusthana. What it shows, how we can infer from this, what we can infer from this. So we can infer from this is that the government lacks, this government lacks the popularity. They don't have the popularity. Though you can say that they have come with tremendous majority, maybe 2/3 majority. But if you check the reality, you will find that this government must not be popular. So that is shown by this combination. What is another thing which I will tell you in this case? You see that For Karka Lagna, the two malefic grahas, the most malefic grahas are Shani Rahu. And Shani is also Maraka Lord, and Rahu is the co-lord of the 8th Bhava, Shani and Rahu. Here you see that Shani is as a Maraka Lord in strength in 7th Bhava is aspecting the Lagna and the Bhagya Bhava. Now Shani is in 7th Bhava and Mars is aspecting 7th Bhava. So the seventh, that's Marka house, Marka Bhav, Marak Bhav is aspected by two malefics, two natural malefics. One is a functional, Shani is also functional malefic. So 7th Bhav is aspected by, influenced by Shani and Mars very strongly. Now there is an important point here. Whenever the 7th Bhav is afflicted by Papa Grahas, natural Papa Grahas, you can be sure that this is the authoritarian chart. This is a despotic chart. Generally we have seen that the fascist governments, fascist regime will have these combinations. Even the fascist Jatakas will have this combination. You can check the charts of Hitler and other people. Same goes for the oath chart, because this is also the political governance. Now for this point, let me show you something which I have it, oath chart of Xi Jinping, second term. So this is Xi Jinping's chart, oath chart, second term. He had taken the oath on March 17, 2018, Beijing at around 10:52. So if you see here, Mars and Shani, you can also see the Bhava Chalit. So just to see whether this is shifting. No, it is not shifting. So let's see here. Mars and Shani in the 7th Bhava. This clearly shows the regime which is extremely authoritarian. They will not worry about the subjects. They can treat the people as a collateral. And they would not hesitate to employ any means and every means to be in power. So that's Mars and Saturn and maybe Rahu also, if that's connected to the 7th house. Now come back to the oath chart of Mamata Banerjee. She has the same thing. Shani in the 7th, aspected by Mars from the 12th, the 8th Drashti. So this is the authoritarian governance, or authoritarian governance and despotic, you can say that. As per the reports coming and the videos coming from Bengal after the election results, we can easily correlate this. There is a truth in this particular yoga. Not only that, even Rahu is looking at the 7th Bhava from 11th house. Some people take Rahu exalted in Vrishabha. So that's fine. Being Mithun or Vrishabh, Rahu is powerful in both the Rashis, and Rahu is also aspecting the 7th Bhava. So this is out and out authoritarian chart we are looking at. We are seeing what is happening in Bengal at the moment. The Lagna doesn't get the strength of Moon and Jupiter. They are both placed in the 8th Bhava. The chart is powerful because there is 4 or 5 grahas, as we saw in Mahayogada. So they have a big numbers. They have a big strength of MLAs. So it is we can say that if this government will fall, you will say never. This government can never fall. Yes, because Atmakaraka Surya, which is a political power, is in the 10th bhav. Now there is one more thing which I will tell you, is the moon. Now moon, as I told you, is doubly important here, being a Lagna lord. You see what is the condition of moon in the Navansha. Moon is with Ketu and aspected by Shani Rahu combination. Rahu is again in Mithun Rashi. Imagine the affliction of moon here. Moon is with nodes and Shani together. Shani Rahu, as we saw that in the Lagna chart, Shani Rahu are the worst dire malefics for the chart, and they are afflicting the same Lagna lord in Navamansha. So this gives us the mindset of the head of the government here, and also the people who are ruling this government, because I do not see that she is the only one who is in charge here. There are some people also behind her who are helping her, aiding her to establish this democratic but authoritarian government. Who are the followers of this head of the government? If you try to see from this oath chart, Ketu is in the 5th bhava, and the 5th bhava, Lord Mars. So I would say that I would take Scorpio as two lords, Mars and Ketu. So Ketu is placed in, even then if you don't take that, Ketu is placed in the 5th bhava, and 5th lord is in the 12th, which has gone 8 from the 5th, Mars. So this shows the followers of this particular regime. Who are the followers? Followers are extremely, you can say, extremely fanatic. She has a fanatic follower base, which is shown by Ketu, headless Ketu. Yeah, doesn't have the mind, doesn't have the head to think, just to cut and burn. Similarly, Mars, extremely aggressive. So the headless aggression, that is shown by the followers of this lady. I am just showing you how you can try to assess this oath chart and whether it makes sense or not. That is why I'm going into such details here. So we are looking at a chart. Now what will happen to this state? Because this is a strong government, you can never think that this government can fall. Of course, with 200 plus seats to two-third majority, it is impossible unless something drastic happens. Now we will try to see here that what is the weakness here. These strong points I told you already, that 4 or 5 grahas are having Mahayogda status. Sun is exalted as Atmakarka in the Rashi chart, placed in the 10th bhav. Also in Lagna in Navamansha. So though it's debilitated, still it is powerful. Rahu is in 11th bhav, which is also a good position of Rahu. Venus is exalted, though is a Badaka, exalted Badaka. So this chart is having plus points, high plus points. What are the negative points? Negative points I would tell you about negative points. First is the Tithi. Krishna Navami Tithi is a Shunya Tithi, Mahashunya Tithi, because it's a Chaitra Mantha Krishna Navami. That is a negative point here, because that is called a Shunya Tithi, and that can jeopardize the establishment. because of the Tithi Shunya. Okay, that is not a big at the moment part here. What is the second thing? Which is that 10th Lord is in 12th Bhava. So the Lord of power, the powerhouse, the central focal point of power, Satta, seat of the power, is in 12th Bhava. But that has not lost much strength because that is also becoming exalted in the Navamansha. So correcting some of his weaknesses as long as power goes. The most damaging point for this chart, weakness wise, is the 7th Lord Shani in 7th Bhava and aspecting the Lagna. And Moon being with nodes, and Moon is afflicted by nodes and Shani Rahu combination in Navamansha. I think these are the two, as we say, chink in armor, loopholes. I would say that with this chart, people of Bengal and the state of Bengal is going to suffer. There is no doubt about it. This government has no intentions of doing good to the people. No intentions. Lagna Lord and 9th Lord placed in 8th Bhava means you can forget about doing good to people. Now what can we see here? The tenure of Mamata Banerjee as a CM, as a head of this government. Let us go and put this chart to 5 years period and change it to the Swearingen chart mode so that we can compress the dasha. We can come back here and we can see these two dashas. Most importantly, Vimshatri dasha, because that's the one of the most and foremost important dasha. Yeah, here now, see that Rahu Mahadasha is running till January, next January 15th. Rahu is malefic for this chart, is enemy of Lagna Lord, Moon, but it is well placed. And it is not afflicting Lagna or Lagna Lord or the 10th house. So yes, Rahu is powerfully placed in 11th Bhav, and it is not causing danger to this government. This government will keep on doing the things which the character reveals, which we discussed elaborately. My now main intention is just to see if there is this government can complete the tenure, or yes, by political logic and by common sense, it is simple that it will complete the tenure. There is nothing can stop it. But then we will just also check astrologically if there is a chance of failure. I showed by the way of these three charts, Kumarappa, Yedurappa, and Kumaraswamy, Yedurappa, and Kamalnath, that if there is a moon in Dusthana, then there could be, there could be fall of government. Here the moon is a Lagna Lord is in Dusthana, and it is also afflicted by nodes and Shani in Navamansha. So there is a chances, there is affliction, a little bit of chances. And the Marak Lord Shani is powerfully placed in Marak Bhava and expecting Lagna Lord. So yes, there exists some chances that, okay, we can say that it has all the chances to to live full tenure. But here Shani and Moon's weakness here can give something that there could be possibility of some very hard and very dangerous time to this government, to the life of this government. So what I see is here on Shani period. Shani period is running from September next year to 23rd, 2023 July. This is a period. This is a period which poses danger to this government. If this government survives this period, then there is no looking back. They will complete the tenure. As per my understanding, or at least till Moon. But then that's far away. That is almost completing the tenure. But here, if you see Shani period of September to July, September 2022 to July 2023, this is a period which is posing huge challenges to this government. Now let us see. Now, whenever we have this duration, we can fine tune it with the transit. So let us see the transit. If we can pinpoint the further danger area within that span. You see here, because it will click to your mind that when this oath chart happened, Rahu was in Vrishabh, then Rahu will be traveling continuously, and then it will enter Mesha, and then it will travel over Sun. So this is one important point. When Rahu travels over Sun and the 10th Bhava, being the 8th Lord, can create trouble, can create serious trouble to the power. So let's see when Rahu comes to the Mesh Rashi. Let's see that. Okay, let's change it to the English language. Benefit of everybody. Yeah. So this is forget about this from which place this transit is taken to. It doesn't matter. Let us go and put because Rahu is in at the moment in middle of the Rashi, so we can put easily some 9 months. So you can say here, you can say 22 here, and we see Rahu's positioning. Rahu has already entered the Mesh Rashi, and now it is if you just superimpose here this chart, Rahu has come over the birth sun. Now let us check what is the birth degree of the sun. Sun is Atmakaraka, very important graha again. Politically doubly important like Moon, because it's a political graha, the power of seat, as well as it is Atmakaraka with this graha. Though Atmakaraka I would not much give importance in this case of the oath chart, but just for the sake of it, it is Atmakaraka and it is at 20 degree 48 minutes in Aries. We have to check in the oath chart now when Rahu comes around that. So we have to just add a few months here, maybe July. Further ahead, maybe September. Yeah, approximately September mid, you will find that Rahu will be passing through 20 degree 30 minutes, which is where the sun is placed in Mamta's oath chart. So now if you see here 20 degree 48 minutes, 20 degree, just Rahu has come over 20 degree on the Aries, so exactly on the sun. So this could be, so if you just take this Karka Lagna as a reference point in transit here, then yes, Rahu has come over sun. Shani is still there in Marg Bhava, transiting Marg Bhava, and Guru is in the 9th Bhava. But okay, mainly it is Rahu and Shani squaring the birth sun here. And that is that the timing is approximately September mid. And let us go back to Mamta's chart and see what was the dasha here. Yeah, Shani Dasha. You see, Shani Dasha is exactly starting at the mid of September. So September Shani Dasha start, and transit Rahu coming over the sun of the chart are exactly coinciding with each other. So there is a period here. You see the September month, September period could be a period of trouble, heavy trouble. In that case, Mars is in the 11th bhava in this transit. Let's see if there is one more thing transit period which could be troublesome within that same span. So I would think that if this Marka Lord Shani comes to the 8th bhava, and from the 8th bhava aspects the 10th bhava here, so where Sun is placed, so then the transit would be more potent. So let me see, the September is a problematic period. Okay, let me also check out the Rashi Dasha. So this is around Taurus period. And then there is a Gemini period. You see, Taurus period is the Labhasthana, though Badhaka. So there is obstacle creating Rashi Bhava, Badhak Bhava. And Gemini is the 12th Bhava of the chart. So yes, this both the bhavas are important. Both the Rashi Dashas are important because one is a Badhaka Rashi, one is a Rashi of loss of Lagna, where the 10th Lord is placed. So, and this period is matching the danger period which we saw here, Saturn period. So let's see the transit further ahead, and where we can see that Saturn moves to this 8th bhava. So let us go and say December period. So Shani is now no more retrograde, it is going forward. So Shani is in the 26 degrees, so close to coming into the 8th bhav. So Rahu has moved for a little further to 18 degree, and Mars is retrograde. Let us go back to January 2023 and see. Shani is still there in the last degree, maybe yes. Now we can just simply put February, and we see that Shani is in the 8th bhava in the transit, and Rahu is in the 10th bhava. I am taking the Lagna reference. So if you see the chart of Mamata Banerjee here, yes, this is Karka Lagna. So this Shani has moved to the 8th bhav, and Rahu has moved to the 10th bhav. And that is how, if you see the transit chart, Shani is aspecting the 10th bhava and 10th place Sun with his third drashti, whereas Rahu is still quite close to the Sun because it is 12 degree. So just 7-8 degrees close to the Sun. Here I would see that even when the Mars, which is the 10th Lord, which is in a strength here, it goes to 12th bhava, then this combination could be deadly in transit. So let's move it little further. You can directly see it from here. How many days after Mars goes to the changes the Rashi? 27 days. So you can say that, for example, just simply put March 13th. So here you see now the transit of Shani, Rahu, and Mars. Mars as a 10th bhava is in the 12th bhava. Rahu is in the 10th bhava over Sun. Rahu and Shani are the lord of 8th bhava, and Shani is additionally Marak bhava. Shani as a Marak lord and also as the 8th lord coming in the 8th bhava and aspecting this thing. And here you can see Sun is also placed in the 8th bhava in the transit. So this is the only saving grace is Jupiter in own bhava aspecting Moon. So I would say this March 2023 is falling in well within the period of Shani Dasha. And also if you see Rashi Dasha, it is coming in the Gemini Rashi Dasha. Gemini is the 12th bhav. And the Lord of Gemini that is Mercury is debilitated in Navmansha here. So, sorry, I was just checking the wrong thing for that. Yeah, Chardasha. It was a Shula Dasha, area Shula Dasha. Yeah, Taurus here, Taurus in Gemini. This is. So, if you check this period of Shani and combine it with transit, then the November transit, November-December transit and transit of February-March can place this chart, this power in a real troubles. I would say that it is very difficult to predict the fall of the government, but the condition of the grahas in transit and the dasha of Shani and inherent couple of weaknesses which I have pointed out, it looks to me that the period from September mid 2022 to 23rd 2023 March April could be of great danger for this government. It seems to me that if this government doesn't fall, even then there could be the change of chief minister, because I do not think Mamta as a chief minister can survive this period. Though I can be wrong, I can be proved wrong, because this chart has a inherent strength, and in practically speaking, as I told you, it's 200 plus seats, 210 plus seats. So it's very powerful. Nobody can dislodge except the president rule. But then this time, when Rahu comes over Sun, person gets troubled from the higher power. So here the higher power, then the state is the central power. And we all know that central government and the state government, as they don't gel well, they are almost enemies. So when Rahu comes on the birth chart, I mean oath chart Sun, there is a strong trouble shown from the center, and over and above, Shani would be moving to 8th bhava and expecting the same Sun placed in 10th bhava. And Rahu and Shani are malefic, natural malefic and functional malefic for Karka Lagna. So not only Shani will afflict the Lagna Lord Moon in the 8th bhava and also the 9th Lord Guru, it will also afflict the 10th place Sun. So this is a real danger period. So I would conclude here that this government, though very powerful, it has a great danger from center. In the month of November 2022 to approximately April 2023. And I would say that March and April are real danger period for this government. If at all this government survives that, I would say that at least the chief minister, as a chief minister, Mamata Banerjee, the current chief minister, may not survive. I mean, she may leave the chair, or she may have to leave the chair because of some legal proceedings, and she may have to install some other person on the chief minister's chair. So this is what is my conclusion for this oath chart of Mamata Banerjee. I hope people would have got some idea of how to look at the oath chart. I tried to complete it in as short time as possible. Thank you very much for being with me. And I just conclude this assessment here, this assessment session here. Thank you very much. Om Namah Shivaya.